Right, so we're going to make a wristlet, so you can use a snap bracelet like that, but I would suggest you use it upright like this, just so you get a bit of a shape. If you haven't got one of those, you can make a little bracelet out of aluminium wire, and that would be using some of this. So you just twist the end, just so you haven't got a sharp piece to start with, and then make, just by turning and twisting the wire into a shape. Obviously you can make it as dense or as open as you like, but obviously it needs to be strong enough to be able to take whatever you put on there. And also you can bend it into shape. And then again finish the end so that blunt piece is sitting inside, and then you can just shape that. So you can use a bottle or a can or something that's just going to give you that wristlet shape, like that. This one you'd have to make maybe on something to keep the shape, or you can open it up, but just occasionally pick it up just to make sure you've got the shape. And then what you do is use a large leaf that you'd glue on as your base, like that. Okay, so that's then, and you can also, if you make it big enough, you can join the loops together, or you can use a piece of ribbon to hold it together. So for the glued wristlets, you might want to just put a bit of glue to start with on your materials, just to get it a bit tacky, because otherwise what will happen is when you put them on, they move around until they set. So just use a bit of glue just to get it going. So what I've done here is cut off some of the rosebuds. You might need to take off these calyx here, the leaf guards. It's got quite a long stem, so take off everything there so it's nice and flat, so it does sit flat for you. You just need to be careful that you don't go for anything too long flower wise, otherwise you might have a job to get it to stay in place. So that's had a chance to get a bit tacky. You can see I've got my strands of glue here that are now attaching to everything, which can happen, but just be careful. And this is why you should always have a piece of paper, just to help keep things tidy. So I'm just going to hold that there for a second. Then with my rosebuds that I've used, I'm putting those on. They still will be a little bit tacky, but just keep holding them into place. So that's my main focal line. So they're still not quite secure yet. I then have some of this as sleepier, which is quite nice to use. And I'm going to leave those on the stem because they're quite good to anchor into the materials. And again, just using some of that glue. Just to take some of that round. And filling in where there's some gaps. If the stem's a bit long, just give it a trim. Just try and be sparing with the glue, otherwise you end up having to do a lot of filling in. The buds are quite nice to use as well, just to break up the open flower. You can use things like hypericum, again for a little bit of colour. But just being careful not to get glue on the flowers that are already on there. If you do, just wait for the glue to properly set and dry, because then you can just go around and pick it off. because you will end up maybe with a couple of spider webs, but you can then just go and gently pick that off. Use some of the rosebuds as well. Just to help fill in. And if you do end up putting a bit of glue onto something that you can't get off, then just put a little flower head or bud on there just to help. Again there. And you just need to make sure everything's in place, just let it set, and that should then be finished.